Kieth Blazor.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, as a native Idahoan, a travel agent, and someone who lives in District 21, I do support House Bill 2 passing. A few years ago, a friend of mine, who was my roommate at the time, she is a lesbian, and I were attacked by two people on Brogan Street here in Boise. The whole time and this was before the ordinance, the whole time these people who did what they could, they tried to cause as much bodily harm as possible. We heard things like dyke, queer, and faggot coming from their mouths. After the attack, my friend needed facial reconstructive surgery, and I got away with a couple of bruises, a dislocated rib. I counted myself lucky. It wasn't considered a hate crime before the ordinance, and so it wasn't filed as such, so there's not that on the record. Now, this was all before the ordinance in Ada County was in place, so naturally I was apprehensive about any interviews, anything like that. I declined them all. And how sad to think that people still to this day, where there's not an ordinance that protect LGBT people, have to fear for their jobs, security, or prospect of finding work. All hardworking Idahoans, including those who are gay or transgender, should not only be treated fairly, but equally by the laws of our state. Still, people in this state can be fired from their job. They can be denied a public service or denied housing because of their sexual orientation and gender identity, and it's 100% legal at the time if there's not those city ordinance. Most employers do want to do the right thing, and they do, and the same goes for people who provide goods and services, but there are those people who will only do what's right if it's required by law, and it causes a ripple effect in our communities. When it comes down to a business license is a public contract to provide goods and services to the entire public. I strongly support adding gender identity and sexual orientation to the Human Rights Act. It's going to let a lot of people feel safe in their own skin, perform better in their workplace, with confidence that they can be themselves while being a great employee and live the life of a proud Idahoan, just like everyone else. And adding gender identity and sexual orientation to the Human Rights Act is not going to hurt a single person, but it's going to help so many in our state. And I stand for questions.
Are there questions? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Representative Palmer, or Representative Luker, excuse me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Blazor, on the attack that happened, you said it was not reported as a hate crime, but was it reported?
It was reported.
And, Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Follow up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Blazor, can you tell us what the result of that reporting was?
The resulting of that reporting was shortly after there, with a couple of other cases, there was the ordinance in Boise, Idaho that was passed.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Luker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Blazor, and I guess my question was, what happened to the perpetrators? Was that case processed, and what happened to them?
They were charged as if just any other regular attack. It wasn't considered a hate crime or anything like that.
Further questions? Thank you.